Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7, and we are finally here. It's back. We can talk about it because Episode 1 just aired, the premiere for Season 7, otherwise entitled All's Wells That Ends Wells, and man, now we know why it was called that. We were all theorizing, oh, it's just it doesn't mean much. It meant something, but yeah, I'm sort of leading into spoilers. If you've not watched the episode, go away, come back later, because we're going to be talking about everything in this episode, including that slap on the face and the heart. Slap on the heart and the face towards the end of the episode. But of course, last season, really the big thing to recap, Iris still in the Mirrorverse. Obviously, last season didn't get to end properly because of, hashtag my corona or COVID, whatever you want to call it. Didn't get to end properly, so Iris is still in the Mirrorverse. Barry's running out of his speed, pretty much down to his last. He's into the single digits in regards to percentages. And of course, Mirror Master or Eva did kill Joseph Carver, her husband, sort of getting some revenge and filling out her, or living out her grudge. So that's pretty much where we pick up from it leading into this. Also, like Cisco and Caitlin aren't there because they're on various trips. But of course, let me know your opinions on this episode. What did you love? What did you hate? Just let me know all your various opinions and thoughts on this episode and your general reactions to it in the comment section down below. What did you think of that big moment towards the end of the episode? That was a bit unexpected. I'm very curious to hear what you guys had to say, or have to say. And yeah, and of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like on it. Let's show some support for the first episode of The Flash Season 7. It's finally back. It's been 10 months, too long. But we start off the episode with seeing Barry waking up in cryo sleep. We've seen that in the trailer, and they'd sort of like flipped the flipped the screens to make us think it was in the Mirrorverse. And I thought they'd done that. Like everything was sort of reversed. So he's woken up, or he's now awake, but he's in cryo sleep to sort of like help with his like healing because of what happened last episode. I think it was, didn't he? I can't remember what happened. I think he got stabbed, didn't he? Or whatever it was. So that helped with the fallout from the previous episode or the end of season 6. But one of the cool things is that the suit sort of like materializes on him now. I don't know if this is meant to be like the Speed Force materializing like it is in the comics, which is Wally's power. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just nanotech within the suit that's like from the future because of the flash ring and everything like that. I'm not too sure. They might explain it in like another episode. I don't think they explain it in this episode. But I don't think it was him materializing it from the Speed Force because he was already running out of speed, and also the Speed Force is sort of dead. So I don't think it was that. Maybe they might explain it going forward. We'll have to wait and see. But we did get that cool opening action scene with Eva sort of like going through the reflective surfaces, and you can sort of like see it shimmering green on the, like pretty much anything reflective. I thought that was cool throughout Central City. And Eva is able to like fracture herself, if you want to call it, like split herself off. And she's able to pretty much like move faster than Barry because she moves at the speed of light, which if she's focusing, like Barry really can't do much. But one thing I was like, oh, we're doing this, is when Eva's at that warehouse, which is the hideout of the Top, who we knew was coming back this episode because of trailers and promo stuff. But also Sam Scudder is there, and Mirror Master, Sam Scudder is the Mirror Master we hung out with before, and both Top and Sam Scudder are black hole agents. But Eva kills Sam Scudder, and we learn that he was actually the first mirror clone that was sent out by Eva, which I thought that was very nice work, making it all work in, because everyone was wondering like about Sam Scudder and what was happening with him now. I like how they all connected the dots there. I thought that was very smart. Now, Iris, as I said before, last season she was still in the Mirrorverse. Obviously, this episode she is as well. We see her like struggling, she's like glitching out. She's like imagining dinner with Barry. Her mind's like fragmenting. She starts glitching out, like losing it in this world. It's going to be very interesting to see how this affects Iris going forward, like, because she's eventually going to get out, whether it's next episode or episode 3. It's going to be one of those 2 episodes she gets out, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see the effects of it because she's sort of merging into this world now. If she's feeling the effects here, she'll feel the effects outside of it as well. Sort of like a lose-lose, win-win, whichever one you want to call it. So it'll be interesting to see the effects of that. Now, of course, Ralph was meant to be in this episode. We all know the drama that went on there. So Ralph and Sue are at least Ralph at the very least is taken out of this episode, and both him and Sue are off the grid due to the manhunt for Sue Dibney. It keeps him out of the episode for now. I think Sue's back in episode 3. I'm assuming that's when they'll do the Ralph like writing off the character for at least now. I have to wait and see what they do there, but they at least address why they're not in the episode. Now, based off the episode All's Wells That Ends Wells, you would think there's going to be more versions of Wells than Nash, and that's true. He's joined by the former Wells we have all met before, as well as a new one, Harrison Orson Wells. I don't think we've met him before. And the plan is pretty much to use the multiversal particles from them when they merge with the Wells to power the fusion sphere for the artificial speed force. However, there's a bit of a catch, and that's that Nash will die if he's like the organic receptor they were calling him. So yeah, it's quite the sacrifice, but you know, it was fun to be with the former Wells for a bit, even though I think HR being there didn't make 100% sense because he was dead before Crisis. So how could he merge with them through the Crisis? I don't know. It could be argued there was like another Earth with another HR Wells exactly like the one we had before. I don't think it's worth really thinking about it too much, so I just thought I'd bring it up. Now, Allegra is sort of like this substitute for Wells because he doesn't want to sacrifice himself. He's like, I don't want to die. So Allegra is sort of a substitute with her powers and everything to push the particles out of Nash into the fusion sphere, as well as keeping them contained while they do power the artificial speed force. But, you know, it was too early in the episode. You could tell by the time, it was like, something's going to happen here. It was too much, and Barry's actually hit by the particles, and he takes in all of the multiverse Wells. I wasn't sure how they're going to go when he got hit. I was like, is he going to take in multiverse versions of Barry, or is it going to be the Wells? And they went with a very comedic route, and that was the Wells versions. Now, which one did you find the funniest? I'm always curious. I think a lot of people found Sherlock the funniest, as well as HR. I think they'll, for some reason, I think I found Wells the Grey the funniest for some reason, and I think it's because it was unexpected and random, because I thought, okay, it's going to be Harry, oh no, it's going to be Harrison Orson Wells, and all of a sudden it was Wells the Grey. He came out and I was like, oh, okay, and I had a bit of a chuckle. So I think I found the funniest, but let me know which one you found the most humorous. However, for Barry, it wasn't that humorous, because all the Wells are pretty much just overloading his brain, his cerebral cortex, I think they were calling it. Well, that's what they were referring to it as. But his speed healing is pretty much like the only thing keeping him alive. So they got to sort something out very, very quickly. Now, I really did like the Nash and like Barry as Harry scene. And it was just helping Nash have a more positive outlook and a purpose as to what's to come. I had no idea what was to come next. So it really makes that scene even better. But he's just not feeling down, and that he took something he didn't deserve, that he's like this coward and everything like that. So I thought that was a really nice scene, especially with what happens, you know, following it. Now, cutting away from that for a bit, we did have Iris visited by like the former versions of herself. So we see Iris from the first ever episode when like in Jitters when Barry comes back, the version of Iris that's killed by Savitar, old lady Iris, and they're just pretty much like demoralizing her, but it's not too much of a surprise that it's Eva that's messing with her, you know, preventing her from making any progress. And I do think it might be a bit, you know, a bit nice for Iris when she gets out and can, you know, stick the, you know, flip the bird or something, or stick the middle finger up to Eva and say, hey, I got out, you couldn't stop me. Now, there was like this subplot with Cecile trying to get through to Rosa Dillon, aka the Top, in order to help with the whole Eva black hole situation. And we learned that Rosa actually gave Sam Scudder away in order for a better purpose and the plan that's coming. Now, Rosa does mess with Cecile's emotions and powers, but it was cool to see Cecile return serve and is actually able to get the information, which is that there's like this black hole supersonic jet that's set to make some noise over Central City. But man, the meat and potatoes of this episode and the stuff that's gonna, like the thing that people are gonna take out from the episode is when Allegra gets the particles out of Barry and back into Nash, but Barry doesn't have enough speed to really do much and to help take down this supersonic jet. However, Nash makes the, well, now we know sacrifice. I wrote potential sacrifice in my notes, but yeah, sacrifice to be the organic receptor, like from the beginning of the episode, to power the fusion sphere. Very emotional scene. Wasn't expecting an emotional scene like this in this premiere, with Barry saying goodbye to all the versions of Wells from the past and him knowing that all of them cared for him in a very deep and meaningful way. I'm sort of getting emotional talking about this, and you wouldn't think about it heading into this episode. I thought it was really well done. I think Tom Cavanagh and Grant Gustin knocked it out of the park. I thought Grant Gustin was probably the best actor this episode because he got to play with the Wellses, but that was more of like a fun comedic thing, and this was very emotional. I think him and Tom Cavanagh nailed it, and it just throws you back to some earlier scenes, or scenes from earlier seasons when there was more of a connection there. So, man, it hit hard, but Nash fades away as Barry is born again, I guess you could say, as the Flash gets his speed back. He's connected to this artificial speed force. It will be interesting to see if that lasts. I don't know what, because it's not like a living thing. So if that fusion sphere dies down, is Barry still powered? I guess we'll learn in the weeks to come as to what that actually means. But yeah, I didn't think I'd be tearing up in this episode, and the Flash proved me wrong. I was like, hey, get some tissues, you idiot. But Barry's able to stop the jet pretty quickly, like sort of like a non-entity. Like if he has his speed, it's easy, not too hard. Now, the only thing I'm unsure about this episode, and that's because of an issue. So there was an Iris scene towards the end of the episode. It was the second last scene, but my viewing experience sort of glitched and I didn't get all of it. I just saw the screen ripple on her computer screen, then it sort of went away to the next one. So I didn't get all of the scene's context, but I think it was suggesting that Iris can now see through reflective surfaces, I think. I'm not too sure. Let me know what it meant if I'm wrong, because I didn't get all of it, and I'm pretty much going off like 3 seconds of what I saw on screen. So let me know the context there if I'm incorrect. But the end credit scene is very interesting, and it sort of throws a spanner in the works, and that's when Eva actually watches that video that was on the hard drive. You know, we get to finally see it, and it shows the version of Eva that came out of the Mirrorverse when she went in, and that version died. So her grudge and redemption was really built off nothing, because the real world thought she died. You know, Joseph Carver comes in, this dead body of Eva. You know, it's very logical that he would think that she's dead. And that's what he said last season as he was dying. So the question is, like, is she the duplicate? So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays off going into next episode and the episode after, and seeing what happens to Eva. Because I don't know how long she can live in this world if she's like that, if that's who she truly is. So, man, they've set up some stuff for the next 2 episodes, and I can't wait to see what they do. But yeah, guys, overall, I think for the fact that this was not a proper premiere, this was pretty much the 3rd last episode of Season 6, you know, turned into a Season 7 premiere, I thought it was really entertaining, and it didn't feel like a perfect premiere like we get in previous seasons, but I think it did a pretty solid job to at least feel sort of like a premiere. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what they do in the next couple of episodes, and then leading into what would have been the proper Season 7, like if there is a cliffhanger in episode 3, leading into various things like that. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens going forward, whether it's next week or, you know, in a month's time. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on this episode. Are you okay? Do you need a tissue like I did? I don't know. Let me know. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Keep your eyes out for the trailer breakdown for episode 2 coming sometime over the next day, something like that. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, guys. See you later. Goodbye.